The art of non-intervention. The ego is the identification with the role we play on earth and the person we came here to be, with a specific gender, name, set of skills, physical features, aspirations, belief system, religious, social, and cultural backgrounds. The ego needs to exist for us to function on earth and nurture the illusion of separation to experiment ourselves, others, and everything around us. However, when there is an over-identification with the ego and we lose sight of our divine purpose and our connection with God and the whole, thinking that all there is to life is down here on earth, we become sick, emotionally, mentally, and physically sick. When the feeling of disconnection gets very strong, we never think of help and guidance to come from anywhere or anyone else other than the earth and its inhabitants. This is the biggest mistake of all, for what created the world can also heal it. What I'm talking about here is not groundbreaking, and many scientists talk about the power of self-healing or natural healing with no human intervention whatsoever, even in extreme cases. You just need to open YouTube to hear stories about complete recovery of severe spine injury, for instance, while doctors' diagnosis was that the person would never walk again. This healing takes place through prayer, faith in the energy that created words, and visualization of a complete recovery. The art mentioned above is the art of non-intervention. It is the art of putting the ego aside to let the energy that created the body, its parts, and organs heal it. The placebo effect is another example of the power of the mind, or self-persuasion, even in the case of injury or surgery. Research, for instance, has shown patients in need of surgery completely healed without the surgery ever taking place at all. Thousands of examples like the ones cited above can be found in academic literature, books, scholarly articles, and research. Shamans have, literally since the dawn of time, used the technique of becoming completely hollow to allow divine energy to intervene. Many ancient civilizations, like ancient Egyptians, knew how crucial it was not only to remain connected to spirit, but to also honor it and actively collaborate with it at all stages of life. Whether it is to get married, undertake a journey, sow or reap, people since the beginning of times have asked above for guidance, signs, blessings, and permission. If we stop to think about it for a minute, we will conclude that nothing can be more natural and necessary and logical, for the earth does not belong to us. We did not make it, and we do not have access to all its laws and all its mysteries. Like when we go to someone's house, we try to be respectful and sensitive to the person's customs. The same applies to our dear Mother Earth. We must ask for permission and wait for the path to unfold, to walk on it in all dignity and safety. The above never sounds very attractive to the ego, but it does not matter. Because while the ego is necessary and even useful, it does not represent the entirety of our being, but just a part of it. The important thing here is to understand which part of us reacts to which part of life and why. So again, the art here is to put the ego aside, whether it likes it or not. This is the only required conscious intervention. There are ways to do that. You can put yourself in a meditative state, or allow your brain to receive downloads from above instead of generating and imposing its own ideas and will. You will see with practice that there is a big difference between thinking our own thoughts and receiving inspiration from above. We can stop the everlasting inner noise and allow our brain to receive downloads through visions, inspirations, and divine impulses. Divine downloads always come with an aligned heart, unlike human thoughts that can often enter in conflict with our heart and soul. This is the reason why divine intervention is sharp and effective, for the person that performs it is completely aligned. with no doubt whatsoever that it is what needs to be done at a specific moment in time in a specific situation. This is true science. The only one that does not call for poor animals to be tortured relentlessly day after day. For the science that tests is the one of the dark ages of ignorance, separation, arrogance, and misled egos. Whether we believe in God or not, we can all, at the very least, come to the easy conclusion that when we came on earth, everything was ready to welcome us. We cannot take credit for the making of the mountains, the mighty oceans, rivers, seas, jungles, forests, stars, volcanoes, animals, and so much more natural wonders. Observation only should lead us to remember that the only guidance that has ever existed comes from beyond the earth, and as does the only healing. The art of non-intervention is so divine that it possesses and offers some of its attributes. For example, it's benevolent, it's non-violent, it's free, completely free, available to anyone, and does not require social status, specific financial or physical means. What comes from God never discriminates and is always at hand, like the oxygen we breathe. Now, to be clear, the above does not replace common sense and works only if your faith is unshakable, innocent, effortless, and genuine. Like a child believes his father can truly get him one of the stars of the sky because he says so. If you get injured, disinfecting the wound is always a good idea. I'm not talking here about believing I can fly and jump out of the window. No, not at all. I'm talking about real, deep, ancient wisdom that is revealed naturally to children before they get conditioned. When the mother tells them, for example, that they are going to heal better just because she kissed their wound or their little belly because there is a stomach ache, or put a cartoon patterned bandage on the scratch, they in fact heal better. Research shown unequivocally that they heal faster in those cases. You see, what you believe in, whether good or bad, is going to affect your health. Your mind is directly linked to your physical recovery, for the mind is the body and the body is the mind. When you are afraid, your breathing is short and quick. By simply regulating your breathing, you can calm your mind. And the opposite is also true. If your breathing is short, painful, and quick, your mind may start to get agitated. I healed from injuries myself, sometimes even overnight, literally because I had to. I also healed from conditions doctors said I would have for the rest of my life in a few months of visualization, fun, and joy. After years, not only the condition never came back, but the organs are overperforming, which in my case is a good thing, not a bad thing. It all comes down to how strongly you are going to be impressed by the diagnosis and how seriously you are going to take it and how it is going to shake you. The diagnosis is not a life sentence, and doctors are not God. It is all only an experience that contains the problem and the solution at the same time, for you to show your talent, your strong willpower, and your faith. But remember, real faith is being like a child. It does not have to be forced, attained, or practiced through severe and austere rituals. There is already a genuine need in our heart to believe and rely. If we would just follow and nurture it naturally, our lives would be drastically different. The art of non-intervention is about using the power of the mind to draw in our physical body and 3D reality the precious will of the divine, which always corresponds to our deepest and most sincere needs and dreams. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.